Hello everybody, welcome back to another Raider tutorial. So, before I start, thank you very much for the support on the tutorials. I'm glad they've been helping people out. This one's going to be a little bit hard to explain, so bear with me. I don't know how long this is going to be, because obviously this is all unedited. I might edit this a little bit, just to make it a bit snappier, but... Also, I'm probably going to start uploading these on my second channel, so they are public, because I don't want to really have these public on my main channel. So I will link that in my Discord and the description if you want to go watch them. That's where I'm going to continue to upload them. So we're going to be talking about time remapping today. So I'm going to make a new composition, 1920 by 1080, 24 FPS. I'm going to put the resolution to a third because if you have it on full, this is basically just what, like, the quality of your video. If you have it full quality, it's probably going to lag your After Effects a bit. You know, there's no point editing in full. You can watch it in full when you're done. That's how I see it. Alright, so I found a cinematic I wanted to drag in. So as always, I'm going to double click on it, drag along this light blue line to the start right here. We'll go from like here. And I'm going to find the end right. Oh wow, it ends there. That's actually not the cinematic I thought it was, but we're going to go with it anyway. So we drag it in and it's automatically cut up. Time remapping is a tool that lets you like change the speed of your video over time, all within one single clip. So it means you can speed it up, slow it down, or even reverse parts of your footage instead of applying like one speed to the whole thing. Now the best way to understand time remapping is to actually like visualize it. Imagine you've got your clip, you've turned on time remapping. By the way, make sure you click on your clip and then click Control, Alt and T to enable and disable time remapping. Once you've done that, you've placed your keyframe at the beginning and your keyframe at the end. So this is all pretty standard. This is how you normally time remap. Now think of these keyframes as anchors. Each anchor locks a specific moment in time to that point of the clip. So if you see right here on the left, this anchor has selected 0, blah blah blah, 0, 0, 20. So no matter if I select this keyframe and move it and go to the keyframe, you can see, look, it's still 0, 0, 0, 0, 20, even though, you know, I'm a second further into the clip. So yeah, when you move the anchors, the exact moment in time moves with it. So if you drag the keyframes further apart, it's like you're stretching the clip. Imagine pulling it apart with your fingers. The section of footage between those keyframes doesn't change, it just plays slower because you've stretched out the time it takes to show it. I hope this is making sense. This is the best way I can try to explain it. So you can see my footage is a lot slower here because I've dragged these keyframes apart. If I now go to move them way quicker, sorry, not way quicker, way closer together, it's actually still the same amount of footage in between these keyframes, but because they're so much quicker, because at this time, this keyframe is locked to this time, and this keyframe is locked to this time, when brought together, it just speeds it up like crazy. It's showing all the same amount of footage, but it's just quicker. This applies to every single keyframe that you add. So let's say I spread these out a little bit and I add another keyframe. If I now move it around, you'll notice that only the speed in between these keyframes change. So if I move this middle one closer to the second, it's slow between these two, and then speeds up between the other ones. Lastly, remember that your composition's frame rate, which you can find in composition settings, frame rate. This affects how smooth it actually looks. Higher FPS means you've got more frames to work with between your keyframes, which helps create smoother slow motion. However, the standard FPS for Rocket League montages is usually like 24, 25 or 30. It kind of depends on what you're going for, to be fair. So now you understand how keyframes actually control the speed of your clip. We can talk about the graph. This is the part that like actually lets you like fine tune the control over how your speed changes. You know what, this isn't a good example cinematic. I'm going to bring in a new one. Okay, so I've got my new cinematics. I've enabled time remapping, grabbed my points, just placed my keyframes at the start and the beginning, and I'm going to move them, let's say around there, closer together. So as you can see, my cinematic has sped up a lot. So now I'm going to zoom in. I've just held Control and Alt and I've scrolled up on my mouse wheel. This is how I zoom around. If I select both these keyframes, F9, this selects the easy ease mode. Let's see what would happen if I didn't do that. So if I select both of them, I haven't easy eased them. I go into the graph editor. I right click on this. You always want to be in value graph when time remapping. Click value graph. You can see I can't edit this. I can't do anything. So let's go back out of the graph editor. We'll select it and we'll do as I just said. Hold F and FN and 9 if you're on a smaller keyboard. But just click F9 like so. And now, yeah, you can select your keyframes, go into the graph editor, and you can see we have now got our actual proper graph. As I said before, if you're in this, it looks like this. This is really hard to edit. You can't make anything good. Go into the value graph. So, if I select these keyframes just like this, you can see I've got these handles. These control how sudden your speed changes happen. If you keep the graph line sharp and straight like this, your change in speed will be instant. Like so. But if you drag out the handles to make like a smoother curve like so, you can see the change becomes gradual. This is what we call a speed ramp. Think of it like driving a car. A sharp corner means you've like accelerated abruptly or like braked suddenly or something. And a smooth curve means you've slowed down like naturally and like gradually. Smoothly. You can use this graph to shape the motion exactly how you want. Say I wanted it to slow down and then speed up in the middle. This is how I'd want it to look. As I said before, you can add multiple keyframes and mess around with it to get exactly what you want. This is basically the visual guide to how time flows in your clip. The flatter the line, the slower. The steeper it climbs, the quicker. And the flatter it gets, again, the slower. So you can do other things like this if I want it to speed out. I want it to start slow and speed out. It will look like that. Once you get comfortable reading and adjusting it, you'll be able to make your speed changes feel super smooth. If you found that maybe your clip is long and it looks like this, you can see it's really, really choppy. All you need to do here is go to frame blending and double click it. If you can't see this for you, it may look like this. You know, where's the boxes? Click F4 on your keyboard. And now you can double click this box here and it'll make it look, that's literally blending the frames. I will give you one example time remap really quick that I use all the time. I'll grab my keyframes like so, and what I usually do, this is what the most common I use, start sharp, slow down in the middle, and go back out to being sharp. Yeah, as I said before, I'm going to start uploading these on my second channel. Make sure to go check that out. Hope this has helped some people understand it a little bit better. This is my way of understanding. Please remember, I'm not professional. Yeah. Thank you.